Ladies and gentlemen, I set you all up so well in the last two rants. All of these rants are aging so well. In the Coming Home to Roost rant, I brought up how America and Cory's game was beginning to take a massive hit. They were beginning to hit a wall, the point of no return, where if they are not careful, I could easily see a scenario where America is on the block next to a red and she goes home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in today's Live Feeds update, I'm here to tell you all that not only has Jared won the HOH, but he could be the one to truly put the final nail in America's coffin. And that's what makes all of this so much more ironic, right? Because in the Revenge for Reilly rant, we brought up all the context, how Matt was justified in turning on Cameron because Cameron, Cory, and America were the three main culprits who did not have Reilly's back at all. One iota of her back at all when Hisam was HOH. All of those players became the Peter Pettigrews that we know them to be today. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, it is honestly my personal privilege to be able to break down yet another rant for you all. In this rant, which I believe is the 19th of the season, entitled Best Served Cold, we're going to break down how Jared is completely warranted in wanting to backdoor America. We're going to get you all up to speed with what has happened on live feeds. We're going to expose these irrational stands again for trying to utilize cancel culture only to benefit their faves. Understand, get yourself a cold beverage on this fantastic Saturday. Happy Labor Day weekend to all you hardworking subs out there. This one is for you. Let's get into it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Joy Boy is back again for another Live Feeds update, here to get you all off on the right start in terms of Jared's HOH week. You know, a lot of people were talking a lot of trash about Jared, saying, when is he going to win something? He keeps saying he don't want to keep Jag because he believes in himself. Well, he believed in himself and he won. And yes, I'm not no fool. I know the context of his win. I know Izzy threw the comp on purpose so Jared could win. But I remember when Tiffany also answered a question incorrectly wrong. And this is what allowed Kylan to push the game in the jury phase of BB23 down a direction that benefited Kylan and Xavier's game the most. So I'm fully aware that the irony isn't lost on me that Jared lost to Hisam because he picked the wrong door. But Jared beat Izzy because Izzy pressed the wrong button. At the end of the day, I feel like this is everything coming back full circle. And at the end of it, what's really important is that Jared is somebody who practices what he preaches. Jared is not one of these rats out here who talk a big game but never back it up. Cory was in a secret competition where he had no excuse to not win it. It literally was the type of comp Ian Terry would have demolished. What did Cory do? Got completely demolished himself by Matt, which put us down this path because Cory didn't want Jag to stay, despite the fact Jag still wanted to work with Cory in America. And this is what makes this week so compelling. Because at the beginning of the week, even after Jared won HOH, Jag was still staunch loyal to Cory in America. So much so, Jag had it out for Cirie, Izzy, and Felicia. Understand, the majority of Friday, Jag was still 1,000% against that coalition. And it was because America spoke with Jag. A lot of this had to do with Blue because Blue was the main one trusting America the most. But you notice now that Saturday's come around, Blue's back on Jared's side because she had time to talk to Jag and Matt and she realized she was tripping. But we'll get there. So what you got to understand is America, now I'm going to give her credit for this read. It's rare that I give America some credit, but this read was actually one of her better reads. She understood that Jared is more so in the orbit of those four players of Izzy, Felicia, Cirie, and Mimi. So she kind of views Jared as part of that five over there. She views Jag, Blue, and Matt as a three over here, right? But she also views, pardon me. She views Cameron and Red and Bowie as a three over there. And she views Matt, Blue, Jag, herself and Cory as the 5 in the middle, okay? Because she views the numbers that way, with 5 over here, 3 over there, and their 5 in the middle, she's trying to rally the troops essentially. So hoping that Nom stayed the same, because Jared, of course, nominated Cameron next to Red. Jared followed through with that. The reason why this was great gameplay on Jared's part is by nominating Cameron and Red, he's come up with the argument. Well, let me finish America's point. Well, I kind of got to it already. Let me get to Jared. The reason why Jared nominated Cameron and Red is quite simple. Because by nominating Cameron and Red, he can play them against each other, which creates a fracture. Now, do I think the Chillers are going to come back together next week if America's gone? Absolutely. I do think they can reconcile with each other. But with that said, though, this is a testament to how bad America and Cory have been playing this week. Because America and Cory, they come together, compare notes, and they go, you know what will be ingenious for us this week? To throw people off the scent of how close we are? Let's bash one another to other people. Some of the dumbest gameplay I've ever seen. Because by Cory signing up to that, by him allowing America to bash him, it makes all the people who do like Cory like America a lot less. And for Cory to agree to bashing America, he is giving Jared more of the go-ahead to turn on his girl. Or to target his girl. And that's what makes Cory very wishy-washy, very dumb, and very emotionally rattled this week. Because I gotta be honest, Cory, you couldn't think of a better strategic implementation than let's just bash each other. These black folks will fall for that. Really stupid. So, what you gotta understand is, Cory still don't trust Jag, even though Jag is literally the only one within that trio. Well, let me take it back. Jag and Blue really were buying what Cory and America, what America was trying to sell. You gotta understand, Cory never trusts Jag. Cory he preferred a scenario where Blue, Jared, America, and himself rode this thing out down the line. But of course, Cory is not aware of the fact that Jared has no plans of even taking Blue that far. He wants to go to the end with his mother, possibly an Izzy, and possibly a Matt at this point. And that brings me to Matt. Matt has let Jag know about the twist he used, Sari knows about the twist he used, and he told Jared about the twist he used as well. Matt was a bit concerned that if he didn't tell Jared, Jared may target him for it. But Jared understood. He was quite accepting of the philosophy behind it. And when Matt went back around Jag, he never told Jag that Jared knew that Matt did it. So Matt is playing both sides effectively here, and he is starting to retain information and not just regurgitate it for the sake of it. And I would argue this has been AmeriCory's biggest downfall in this game. They tell information for the sake of it with no true direction or philosophy behind why they are sharing it. And when you become a leaky faucet, when you become the type of player nobody can trust, when you are gaining the type of reputation that AmeriCory is gaining, understand, everyone has clocked Cory completely. You talk like you're going to compete in these comps, but you always throw them. And just like Red, you think you're getting away with it. But they know you are a soccer player. They know you are a karate kid. I guess he scored second place in the karate finals or something like that. So understand, he's really Cobra Kai Cory out here in these streets. But Cory keeps trying to downplay his athletic ability. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm not capable of doing that. I can't do that. But all the players can see through it now, Cory, because you spent too much time away from them with America. So when you spend this week bashing her and she bashes you, the irony of it is Izzy and Jared already clocked this is what y'all would try to do on Thursday night. So y'all are still playing behind. You're down by 2 touchdowns, and you think you could just keep kicking field goals and you'll come back. Well, what happens if the players you're playing against keep scoring touchdowns as you only get 3 points at a time? There's no way for you to make it back. And that's what I'm noticing. Matt at every turn right now is scoring 7, and at every turn Cory has to settle for 3. And it's because America is costing him the 4 points he really needs. And instead of him realizing this and being like completely devout and sacrificing her, Cory wants to get into arguments with Jared about it. And see, you getting so emotional over her, it further justifies why Jared wants her gone. And then there's fans online. The same stands that will call the game completely rigged if Sari gets her way based off of great gameplay. They'll say that's purely rigged. These are the same stands during the Veto competition today. They were begging for production to rig Veto to America, so America could get bailed out for her own bad gameplay and have no accountability for it. This girl is literally pushing for an alliance to target Cirie next week, and they act as if Jared has no right to want America out. What's your problem with America? This is such a one-sided fight. What is up with all of these men not liking America? Well, here's the thing. If all these men from different walks of life can all agree on this one woman being a problem, maybe, just maybe, she is a problem. How about that? Ever thought about it that way? Why is it that every single man in this case study has to be the problem? Because this community refuses to admit sometimes the woman is the issue. What is up with that? I don't get it. I'm sure you don't get it. But here is where we are. Because we're in a current landscape. No matter how messy America played, no matter how badly Cory has played, these people still want them bailed out for it. If that don't show you this once again is more irrational stan culture, I don't know what to tell you. And then for me to see stans trying to bully BB updater accounts. And see, this is why I bring up these things in prior rants. I talk about how, why does it feel like these BB updater accounts have turned into gossip accounts where they don't even talk about the game? They give their opinion and then try to speak on the psychology of the player to get some easy likes and retweets based off basically telling the world, hey, I don't like this person too. Like me, please. I see it all the time. So when I'm online, and understand, when Cory was speaking to Jared, feeds returned. And we see a clip of Jared basically saying, hey, man, I shouldn't have called her the R word. I take that part back. But I 100% believe she's going to try to throw this veto comp. And if she tries to throw it, I'm going to backdoor. No one really cares about the fact that Jared is playing this HOH exceptionally. No one cares about the fact he's reeled Blue in. Because when Blue was trying to convince Jared to go after Cameron and Red, and when Jared was under the assumption he could still trust Blue because he was buying the fact that Jag trusts Cirie more than Cameron, when he was buying the fact that Jag trusts Cirie more than she actually trusted America and Cory, everyone was clowning Jared. But then when Blue came around, and then Jag came around, then these same fans started bashing Jag, bashing Blue again, bashing Jared. So if you notice a pattern, the same thing last week that happened to Cameron, when they thought he would play anti-black and chose not to, they threw him away. The minute Jag started talking like he would go against the black players, they liked him. The minute he changed his mind, because it's actually better for Jag's game not to, then they also threw him away, said, well, I regret being happy for Jag staying. They act as if their opinion is like the new narrative that we should all care about. No one cares, clearly. There's a new conspiracy theory online. Oh, how is everyone turning on America all at the same time this week? Like, let's leave it to the side the fact that she has done everyone wrong in this house, even Cory. But once again, they cannot hold her accountable for anything. They can't allow her to hold any water. They cannot allow her to hold the L. It always has to be somebody else's fault. Even when she was flirting with Cameron, the narrative is, oh, Cameron's the weird guy. When she could have just chosen not to throw the comp. She could have just chosen to not drink his alcohol. She could have just chosen not to flirt with him. But once again, it's all on Cameron. At the end of the day, Cameron got screwed by a twist. I'm happy for him that he won this veto. I'm going to keep it real with you on that. Because in my opinion, and I said this before, Cameron and Red deserve jury more than America does. For these people to create these conspiracies, that production in the DR is convincing all these players to backdoor America this week. What? Man, y'all are down bad. Y'all are down bad. Listen, man. Listen. I got to keep it real in these streets, man. I think it's time for you stans to really get a job.
Get a job.
I think it's time.
Get a job.
Because some of the stuff y'all are doing is insanity. And then when I see these BB updater accounts, right? You got Big Brother Daily. I don't know this person from a can of paint. But I know they do exceptional work, and I know that they are highly respected in this space. So when I see someone like this, let's read along with this, because I want y'all to understand this is all connected to the fact that these fans, they want Jared evicted. They want him expelled for saying the R word when they don't even have a clip of him actually saying it. They only have a clip of him apologizing for once saying it. So this isn't a Luke situation. See, with Luke, we heard him say it. There was a clip of him saying it. TMZ got the clip of him saying it. It was a type of thing production could never escape. In this situation, this is another example of how desperate the AmeriCory stans have gotten. The fact that they would then start to bully updater accounts. Oh, why aren't you talking about Jared saying the R word more? So you got to understand, when you look at this, You have someone replying to Big Brother Daily saying, he didn't say the slur on feeds. He just said he previously said it. Okay? So understand, this person is subconsciously keeping it real here by telling us all that no one has any proof, tangible proof or evidence of Jared actually saying it. They only have the proof of him admitting that, hey, I shouldn't have said it. So they don't even care about him showcasing remorse. They just see the remorse as proof of the guilt. So they think with no tangible evidence because of what happened to Luke and what could have also happened to Kirsten, because she also said it too, they think this is enough grounds to expel a man on his HOH week just so he can bail out the girl who played sloppy the last 2 weeks. If this doesn't show you the real issue in this community, I'm sorry, it's going to be very difficult for you to truly see it. Because this is a community that doesn't like rigging unless their fave benefits from it. This is a community that says, oh, I want old school BB back. Until they get it, then they're too soft to handle it. But then when America goes on these diatribes, and I'm a rant, I'm the rant guy, I can respect it. But when she goes on these rants, going off on black players, everyone just goes, yeah, America, keep going. The minute someone has something to say about America, knowing what she has already said, then they act like, oh, how dare you? She doesn't deserve this. She's such a sweet soul. It's astonishing to me, Coach. But let's read this. Big Brother Daily says, how about I'll tweet nothing at all anymore instead? I can't catch every single thing, and I don't have the time to watch every hour of the day, nor do I even want to, because it gets less and less fun, especially with stuff like this. Can't miss anything, or else I get people coming at me like I'm the one who did something wrong because someone in the house says something offensive. I can relate to this. There are so many people that have so much invested interest in seeing me bash a black man. But these same people do not run to any of these other channels and ask them to bash the white person more, but they try to get me to do more of the stumping out that all these other channels do for false clout. Interesting. Then when it's time to give the black man some roses, these same people do not run to those channels and say, hey, how come you don't give Jared more credit? This is how you know these people are irrational. Because they hold me to a standard they don't even hold the people that should be doing this more often to, right? They want me to be held to a standard that they think no one else has to be held to. Just like how the stands believe, oh, if they're my fave, they can do whatever they want. It's never offensive. We know for a fact that they didn't mean anything malicious behind it. Meanwhile, for someone they don't like, they automatically jump to extremes and tell us what the player actually meant behind it. And that is the insincere element of it. It is them trying their best to actually cheat every fan by bailing out their fave just because their fave flopped. It's not our fault. Let's keep it real in these streets. If Cameron just backdoors Izzy, I can create the argument Matt never uses the twist. It was that small margin of error that changed the course of this season. In that scenario, Jag doesn't even go home because Izzy would have got backdoored, right? In that scenario, Matt never has to use the twist. He holds on to it until this week. He probably never uses it. And this is what Matt's excuse was to Jared. He told him, hey, a big reason why I use the twist is because in my mind, it only lasts 2 weeks. And what if someone that's on my side wins the next HOH? Now I win a twist that America voted on me to be able to win, and I don't even use it? I would have felt like I flopped it. I would have felt like I was an embarrassment. So you got to understand, all of this is important. But to finish the tweet, Big Brother Daily has had enough. Even the word idiot made everyone lose it a couple of years ago because it was said about Bailey. But if their favorite said that about someone, it would get a tons of retweets. This is how you know stan culture is really the problem here, right? And if y'all stans ain't careful, we not gonna have feeds. Why do you think feeds keep going down? They keep going down because of y'all, not us. I can see someone talking bad about Jared, but you won't see me go, oh, let's find out their job. That's not how I get down, but that's how these stans get down. Oh, we don't like Jared, so let's do research on Kenzo. Oh, let's find out where Kenzo stays. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. People are weird. If they applied the same type of consistency and focus in everyday life, these people could be rich. Understand that, coach. I gotta go in. But anyway, so in closing, this person basically says, more and more, I'm thinking I'm done doing this once this season ends. If that don't show you that these stans are ruining everything by being irrational, I don't know what else will show y'all that, man. And see me, I'm not the type of person who just says things to get a rise out of people. I say these things because I can trust what I see on those feeds. I never say something to y'all because I think, oh, this is the popular take to have. This is going to lead to more views and likes. Ha ha ha. See, I'm not the one trying to manipulate the masses like that. That's everyone else. I'm literally the one, for better or worse, that will stand against an army of people against Jared and still say Jared top 5 of my power rankings. When the truth is, he still is. He's the current HOH. He has 2 people on the block the whole house hates. And if he backdoors America, the house also hates her. Understand, even if, and because he created the lie to Cameron that Cameron is a pawn on the block next to Red, I think now that Cameron's won the veto, I don't think Cameron is that mad at Jared because I think he believes Jared was always in on this with him. And because he convinced Red that Cameron threw him under the bus, he can't trust him. Because he convinced Cameron, he can't really trust Red. I just think Jared did a good job of trying to make certain unbreakable bonds a little more breakable. And if you just make it a little bit more breakable, you did your job. You pulled off the Bruce Willis. You pulled off the Samuel L. Jackson. And right now, I got to be honest, Cory, you out here looking like Mr. Glass. You feel a dig me, coach? Oh, he feels like Mr. Glass right now, bruh. I mean, dang, he's throwing these little tempers. Oh, you're a moron. You have the nerve to bash the girl that I've been bashing over the last 2 days. Only I can bash her. Ha 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 ha. It makes no sense, Cory. It makes no sense. And see, America stands have turned on you a little bit now too, Cory. Sure, they'll support you checking Jared, but where was this energy at last week, huh? When Cameron said, teach your man how to squabble, where was this energy at last week? Huh, Cory? Why, when it comes to the black dude, you'll get your chest out that you're supposed to have a final 2 with, but when it comes to the guy that's trying to sleep with your girl, you have nothing to say. See, the truth is, Cory, you've exposed yourself in this whole process because you're only willing to stand up to certain people. And it feels like you're only willing to stand up to the people who don't look like you. And that really is the embarrassing part because you claim that Cameron is jealous of you. You got America out here trying to tell the world, oh, the showmance is over because Cameron keeps following us around the house. Both of y'all are trying so hard to throw people off the scent of the fact that you're already clocked. So really, you're working with old information, and that old information has y'all playing even worse under the circumstances. So I don't really see a scenario where Cory's game can improve unless America leaves this week. And this is where I must ask you, Cory stands. Why are y'all on this soapbox hoping America don't get backdoored? At the end of the day, let's keep it real in these streets. Cory needs it. The same reason why Matt's game started to improve after Reilly left, I believe Cory's game can improve after America leaves. I look at it the exact same way, Coach. The exact same way. You know? Why is it that only Cory gets to keep his girl around? There were people who wanted Blue to go over Jag just so Jared couldn't have his girl around. Well, say it if you want. Jared got his girl back on side in a couple of days. Cory still ain't got that type of respect out of his lady yet. So no matter how you shake it, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoy this week because even though Jag was 100% against Sari for the majority of Friday, all it took really was him to reconcile things with Red, realize, okay, Red's not after me. All right, well, that's best for me. Matt is the one pushing to him, hey, we can't trust Cory in America. Now, even though Blue's the one saying we can trust Cory in America, Jag's not a stupid. He knows Matt's the one who saved him. He should value Matt's opinion more than Blue's right now, with all due respect. But when Jag finally had time to talk to Sari on Friday night, Sari basically, not only, this is what I believe. I think Sari, because you understand, Red was an emotional wreck. Red, he contemplated possibly self-evicting. He was talking like, oh, you know, I made a deal with Cameron where if we were ever on the block heading into a Thursday, I would fall on my sword, yada, yada, yada. Well, now that Cameron's won veto, that don't have to be in the cards. And honestly, I do see Red being a little bit more excited about the fact that Cameron won the veto. This is great for Red's game because for all things considered, I think Red will stay over whoever the replacement nom is. Now, currently, it feels like they're throwing people off off the scent by telling them Jag will go up. I think it's possible Jag could still go up, but I think because Jag reconciled things really well, because he's the one telling Matt he's not after Cirie, Matt will regurgitate that information back to Cirie, and it will make Cirie much more comfortable with America going. Because America is the main one trying to rally people against Cirie. So listen, everyone says, Jared is so bad for his mother's game. These are the same people now that would rather see Jared expelled for something they never heard than see Jared actually do the best thing for his mother's game by taking out the main rat with her name in her mouth. So understand that too. There are certain people who don't want Jared to have the opportunity to say my HOH was great because not only did I take out the player that kept Cory away from me, I also took out the one player that was most after my mom. So everybody got all these theories about how Jared needs to win more. Some other people need to win more. Everybody got all these theories about how Jared's not playing well. He's played this week exceptionally, the way he's conducted himself. He hasn't caught himself up yet. Now, do I believe he could have made a mistake by having Cameron hiding in the HOH when Izzy came in because Izzy could have mentioned his mom at the time and Cameron could have learned that intel? Yes, I'm going to provide some pushback there. Sloppy gameplay from Jared. But outside of that this week, have I seen many mistakes out of him? Not at all. And what you got to understand is people are over-embellishing on the things that Jared does that offends them because they are trying to create a controversy out of nothing. And when you have people trying to create a controversy out of nothing, you really see they're the real controversial people. Because at the end of the day, this week, if you're really following what's going on and not just following the update accounts that cater and pander to you, you would know America was always on the ropes heading into this week. You would know America needed that HOH as badly as anyone else did. Why all of a sudden, now that Cameron has won Veto, we know Red has put in a lot of work with Cirie. We know Red is very trustworthy because he's a very loyal guy to the point where he was brought to tears. We know Cirie was also someone brought to tears feeling bad for Red. Izzy starting to think, oh, I don't like the way Cirie kind of cracks jokes on me in public and yada, yada, yada. Like, Izzy, you're a little too sensitive right now. She has to throw people off the scent. They think you all are an untouchable duo. She has to at least be a bit self-deprecating, if not to herself, or to you. She has to do these things to make up appearances. Izzy, come on now. Let's just be real in these streets, man. Cirie doesn't mean anything malicious by that. But this is another reason why Izzy throwing the HOH to Jared was fantastic gameplay on Izzy's part. Izzy is in Legend 25. Jared isn't. Felicia even said to Jared, these players were idiots because for all things considered, they should have included Jared in the 8 because if he would have been in the 8, he couldn't have been able to nominate both of those guys. And then when you add to the fact that America is also in a 7 with them, but they didn't want America really in that 7. They wanted Hisam. They wanted to be able to save Hisam last minute, and they wanted Hisam part of that 7. Cory refused to save Hisam, and he created the argument, I didn't want to save Hisam because I wanted you included in the 7. Now, America doesn't trust the 7 because Cory has more numbers within the 7 than she does. So that's why she pushed for the 5 with Blue, Jag, Matt, and Cory. Cory doesn't trust Jag, though, so he would have never trust that 5. And here's the funny thing, Matt doesn't trust America or Cory, so he would have never trust that 5. So understand, America spent all that time trying to rally these numbers together when there were people on opposing sides that would never work together. Literally, Matt and Cory right now are fighting over the right to be Cirie's adopted sons. Like,
you thought I was feeling you? No.
You thought I would stop playing with him, Reilly? Am I lying right now? Like, let's keep it funky in these streets. That is literally a live look at Matt and Cory fighting over the services of Cirie. Okay, let's just be honest with ourselves right now, dog. But see, the funniest part about it is, Cory, it didn't even have to be a competition if you wouldn't allow that girl to turn you into the biggest simp on the planet. And the way that you're acting, now that you know it's possible she's going up, you run up to Izzy and say, hey, you need to let Jared know there's a chance he could expose the 7. Oh, you talking about the 7 you said you didn't trust a few days ago? Now all of a sudden you're going to use that as blackmail when you were the one who told America about the other 7? Cory, you know you just messed up, right?
Congratulations. You played yourself.
You played yourself. See, no matter how you shake it, coach, it feels like, and I kind of agree with this narrative that I saw online, it feels like Cory did not think he would legit be in an alliance with someone and it would be outed so early. He didn't think it would be so obvious to other players. He thought he would be able to basically be in the peripheral, behind the scenes. But what did I say about America and Cory's game? The minute there's no Reillys, the minute there's no Hisams, your game is going to start to rise to the surface of the ocean. And they're going to see you're a floater. See, I told y'all this, and people thought I was off my rocker again. But I just know how this game is played. And I know America was truly a bad player to not value Reilly staying over Cameron. For her to think, as a young white girl that's Mexican, I get that, but y'all need to understand there's a difference between nationality and ethnicity. Sometimes we get those things confused. Even America on Feed says she's a white girl from Mexico. Okay, so that needs to be stated. But with that said, why would you want to take away the one shield you have for your game in Reilly? Why would you want her to go? Was it so important for you to be the new Reilly that brought these people together that you decided she needed to go? Well, as soon as you tried to be her this week and bring these people together, Matt don't trust you because of Reilly. Cory don't trust Jag, so he not down with this plan either. And now Jag, after speaking to Sari, he's told the whole world he no longer trusts you. And you know why Jag says he doesn't trust you? He said it all stems back from Wednesday night when you tried to have the meeting and you started spiraling when he was the one on the block and you didn't even tell him ahead of time it was going to be 10-0. See, the truth is, Coach, because you followed orders, America, and you played ball because before every HOH you're terrified of things turning on you, you set yourself up to be no different than the other 9 who made it a unanimous vote to get rid of Jag. So when it's time for you to position yourself as someone Jag can trust, he can't really discern or differentiate the difference between you being a rat and a snake and everyone else being a rat and a snake. But one thing Jag had to have learned throughout the day on Friday is if I keep being next to America, she's going to bring destruction to my game too. And that's the thing, Jag. You were very close to destruction being brought to your game. You were very close to Beerish showing up. You were very close, Coach. You were very close. You know, they was finna hit you with the Anubis trap card. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Odin from Yu-Gi-Oh! They was gonna destroy you. But because you saw the light and because you notified Matt and Blue of the light that you saw, now Blue is back in that HOH room. There's nothing contentious going on with Jared. At the end of the day, before the veto comp, Blue was in great spirits. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Matt, Felicia, and America was picked for veto. So all the fans were rooting for America to win it. America, of course, flopped under pressure because that's what she does. The one chance she had to win a comp, she threw it to the guy she decided to flirt with, and then she created a narrative that he's somehow predatorial for trying to take her up on those advances. And see, this is really the problem. You pretty much gaslighted him to think you were into him, and then when he's into you and wants to compete for you, then you say he's weird for trying to compete for you. Meanwhile, Cory, the guy who claims he's also into you, refuses to compete for you, and I think this is a big reason why you were spiraling on Wednesday night. America wanted a storyline of a love triangle. It's funny because before the season, Blue Kim was the one saying she wanted this storyline, but I think she knows now that storyline ain't possible. So I think she knows the bread is buttered better with Jared. But that is why this is best served cold. Because America thought she had everything figured out. She lost her mind because she wasn't top 4 in voting. That led to her spiraling initially. Cory, knowing he didn't win the twist, made him throw her under the bus initially because he lost his confidence and his arrogance. Now we head to this week. Cory and America are as behind on information as Jag was, as Blue is. But here's the thing. Jag and Blue have an excuse. They were on the block. What is y'all two's excuse? This is what their stands can't explain to me. This is what their stands can't respond to me with. Because deep down, even the stands know that those two were too busy being Jack and Jill running up and down the hill. They know those two were playing Love Island on that hammock in that have-not room during Condom Gate when they should have been playing Big Brother. And for all the talk about, oh, these are two super fans. These are two super fans. Red better shut up calling her this and that because she's a super fan and you aren't, Red. Well, at the end of the day, Red playing a better game than the super fan. So, and at the end of the day, if they're such super fans, why did they forget about the social game? Listen, I'm not here to denounce their super fandom. But what I am here to do is hold them to a higher standard because a superfan shouldn't be making these casual mistakes. People misconstrue my tough love and my true analysis. They misconstrue it because they go to other places and they lie to them, making it seem like Cory and America have done nothing wrong, so they can placate to you and make you want to be part of the stan base. That's what I call it, the stan base, trying to get BB Daily to stop doing updates. At a certain point, ladies and gentlemen, as a community, we got to do better. We have to do better. And we need to admit to ourselves that the real issue that is in this community is something we all can solve. And we can all solve it by letting America get backdoored. Because I'm here to tell you, if she gets backdoored, her fan base, they'll be like, I'm done with this season. And it will be the greatest thing for all the other fans. Because once that toxicity is gone, people are going to realize, wow, watching Big Brother is so therapeutic now that we no longer have these kids around that only rock with people based off how attractive they are, that only rock with people based off superficial things. Now that we finally have nothing but fans left watching that are true purists of the game, not casuals acting like superfans, not anti-black but hiding behind, oh, I supported Taylor. Now that we no longer have those same people around, things are going to actually feel much better in the mid-game. And that's why I'm rooting for this outcome, because it's what America deserves. I told y'all, the chickens have come home to roost for her. I've told y'all, the vengeance for Reilly is a dish best served cold. And if she isn't careful, she's going to be the one with true rigor mortis. Because at the end of the day, Coach, Cory, for all things considered, you're not the target yet. But even Cory knows he's going to really have to put his game in a hyperdrive. Because once America is gone, who does Cory have left in this house? Jag no longer trusts you. America was the bridge for him to think about trusting you. America was the bridge for Blue to believe in trusting you. Now Blue will see you as her main obstacle because you're close to Jared. The only person left in this house that might legit play ball with you once America goes is Izzy. Outside of that, I think everybody else views you as a can of worms. And it's because you've allowed that to become the narrative. You had multiple opportunities this past week to lock things in and make sure Matt could never take your spot. Let's be honest, if you just win that secret comp, it's much harder for Matt to solidify his spot on that side. But now Matt is in so good with that side, I don't see Cory making up the distance. And when Matt still is after Cory, understand, if America doesn't get backdoored this week, Matt says he wins HOH next week, he's targeting Cory in America. Understand that. Felicia, she has already been wanting to get out Cory. Understand that too. Cirie, she's aware of the fact that America been scheming against her, which includes Cory, so she knows how Cory gets down. And now when you have Felicia, you have Jared, you have Cirie, all of them can see that y'all have been throwing comps, that y'all are huge liars, that y'all will tell information to anyone just to get by. You are too much of a liability for anyone to want to risk their game trusting in anymore. So, understand, Matt saving Jag, it's aging well. Because the person Matt saved, Jag finally came around to, okay, even though Jag might not be fully aware that Cirie knows, I don't think Jag knows that Cirie knows just yet. He may, but I don't know. I think Felicia knows, though. At least Jared believes Felicia knows. But at the end of the day, Matt saving Jag, and then Jag coming around to the fact that, hey, I can't trust America and Cory either. Because they're sheepish. They're flakes. They'll just throw me under that school bus to save themselves every time. I can't keep taking that risk, especially when it was a 10-0 vote that I was just a victim of. No. So Jag had all of Friday to assess his options, and he chose the smarter option. Because pitching your tent and trying to get on that sinking ship with America and Cory was just going to lead to Jag possibly going home next week over Cory. But now that he's backed off completely, Matt can continuously put in a good word for Jag. I think this guarantees Jag makes jury, barring Jag not being backdoored over America. But I think it will take a lot of convincing at this point to get Jarrett to not throw up America, because at this point, Cory, you showed yourself, your true self to Jarrett when you tried to stand over him and try to tell him how to be an HOH. Why don't you win a comp and then you can determine what you want to do? You want to hide behind all these people, that way you can get an edit like you're some mastermind. No. This is HYON settings. If you want to get someone out, you do the dirty work. You didn't want to take Cameron out yourself, so it's poetic justice that Cameron took himself off and your girl is replacing him. I'm Dave Smith for Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism, and this was my best served cold rant. What are your thoughts? Are you impressed by the fact that even if Jarrett had the HOH thrown to him, that he went through with targeting Cameron and Red? Everybody loves to create these arguments that Jarrett doesn't back up his mother, but everything he did this week as HOH, for the most part, was fantastic gameplay. If you take the emotion out of it, you'll see that Jarrett did a lot of damage to a lot of players, and he made all of them more so want to be more obedient to Sari next week. And the way Sari was there for Red emotionally when he was losing himself, come on, Red ain't targeting Sari. And from Jarrett's perspective, even if Red wins HOH next week, Red is most likely going to nominate Jarrett next to an America. That's what he thought. Well, now if he takes out America himself, that's where things could get sticky, but I just don't see Red targeting a Jarrett before possibly a Jag. I just don't see it, Coach. But that remains to be seen. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to head on back to those live feeds. I hope you all have enjoyed this update. I hope you all have enjoyed the rants over the last week. At the end of the day, I do this for the culture, but when I saw these fans out here trying to get this man ejected, that's when I knew, oh man, they're so down bad now. They're literally grasping at any straw they can now. They know the walls are closing in something serious. They know the White Walkers are coming, and they know they do not have any dragons. You feel it, dig me, Coach? They thought Cory was a fire-breathing dragon, just for them to find out he ain't even a salamander, huh? He ain't even a Komodo dragon. He's Kimono Cory. And that's the saddest part about it, America. You spend all this time trying to find the guy that would help assist your game, only for you to, last week, ruin the games of every guy you got close to. You hurt Jag's game. You hurt Cameron's game. You hurt Cory's game. Matt was the only guy smart enough to not let you get too close to him, even though you and Cory kept trying to recruit him. And that's what makes it funny. Matt knew how to play this game against y'all because he knew he never forgot the score. And because Matt never forgot the score, he will always keep scoring touchdowns while your little Disney Plus showman's over there that struggles to get off the ground, that struggles to do a little bit of PDA, y'all can barely get 3 points per drive. And that's really the funniest part about it, baby. The fact that Matt has outplayed y'all completely. I create the argument Matt right now is a better player than Cory and America combined, because Cory and America literally bashed each other before all of this. And what good is a showman's if you're just going to create the deal to bash each other? I mean, this is some of the worst gameplay I've ever seen. And if you're so close to Jarrett, Cory, why would this be your gameplay implementation? You couldn't think of nothing better than that to keep America safe this week? This truly exposes the fact that you're not as good as they say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all for another rant, most likely later in the week. All right, happy Labor Day weekend to all of you all, and I hope this was a nice present that came unexpected to help you all get through your weekend. Eat some good barbecue, y'all. Have some good time with family, but most importantly, enjoy yourself. All right? Until next time, deuces. AmeriCory stands. It's time to just admit the people that you chose to support, they flop truly bad as ish. The Shadow Realm awaits.